Alright, welcome once again to this month's show on What is Your Story with Dr. Robert. Also remember, once again, we are back. This is a program that happens every Sunday at 6 p.m. only at Romi TV Africa at Dr. Robert Osoro. So my brother, so you say that you had started this. Holy pig.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Romi TV Africa. This is Newspaper Review. I'm your host, Mark Collins Ochieng on Facebook, Collins.ke on Instagram, and Collins.ke on Twitter. And today's show, we are going to tackle about stories that made headlines on our local dailies. That is the Standard and the Daily Nation. And we are going to start with the Standards. But before we start the session, I have to give my two pundits or my two news analysts whom are going to help me to debunk some of these stories that made headlines. So I will start on my left. She's going to introduce herself with the social media pages. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm Regina Mwangi, Regina Samuel Instagram, Facebook at Regina Samuel Twitter.
Yes, also on my right hand, I also have another guest. She's going to introduce herself. Please welcome on the show.
Thank you. So my name is Shalon. You can follow me on TikTok, on Instagram at Shalon254.
Okay. So guys, without further ado, we are going to start with the newspaper of today, and we are going to start with the Daily Nation. And the Daily Nation, the story is all about yesterday's nomination of different slots in terms of cabinet secretaries. And we are going to look at them in terms of who got which been appointed, but these are just nominations. They are going to be vetted in Parliament, and then from there we are going. The members of Parliament are going to decide who is fit for that position. So I will just look at the CSS and the positions that they were allocated. We will start with the CS for Interior was nominated to Professor Kithure Kindiki. CS for Foreign Affairs was Alfred Mutua. CS for Education was Ezekiel Machogu. CS for Energy, that is Davis Chirchir. CS for East African Community, that is Rebecca Miano. CS for Defense is Aden Duale. CS for Tourism is Penina Malonza. CS for Health is Susan Nakumicha Wafula. CS for Sports is Ababu Namwamba. CS for Lands is Zakaria Mwangi Njeru. CS for Labor is Florence Bore. CS for Trade is Moses Kuria. CS for Water is Alice Wahome. CS for Environment is Roslinda Soipan Tuya. CS for Treasury is Njuguna Ndungu. CS for ICT is Eliud Owalo. CS for Agriculture is Franklin Mithika Kilinturi. CS for Public Service, Gender and Affirmative Action is Asha Juma. CS for Road is Kipchumba Murkomen. CS for Cooperative and Small Medium Enterprises is Simon Chelugui. CS for Mining and Maritime is Salim Vuria. Advisor on Women's Rights Agency is Harriet Chigai. Advisor on Internal Security is Monica Juma. Attorney General is Justin Muturi. And Secretary to the Cabinet is Mercy Wanja. So this nomination, this announced list of CSS has brought a lot of illicit reactions from Kenyans and even some of the leaders. We've seen like elected leaders like Kisumu Governor, that is Anyang' Nyong'o, Professor Anyang' Nyong'o, is cited or criticized the appointment, the nomination of this cabinet secretary, saying that it didn't have ethnic balance in terms of nominating various leaders for different positions. For instance, he was citing, like, if you look at the Luo Nyanza, they were only given 2 doctors to serve. That is, we have Omamo, who was under the outgoing regime. She served and she served the capacity of national defense. Later on, she was transferred to another ministry, but she's the only one who has retained that position. And then the new one that was given that position, we have Eliud Owalo, who has been given that position of ICT. I don't know, guys, what is your red card in terms of how this cabinet slot was given, or how it was allocated to various leaders? Are you satisfied? Do you think the president did the good thing? There's some slight mistakes he did? Because before I give my view, so I'll start with you, Sharon. You have to give me your sentiments concerning this list of cabinet secretaries. What do you have to say? This is just a nomination, but it's not an approval. They have to go to parliament, and the legislators have to approve them in terms of academic credentials, in terms of their work experience. Are they people who can be able to work? Do they maybe have corruption scandals? Because issues to do with corruption scandals is also a factor that can make the members of parliament to either approve them or to reject them. Okay, so they're the ones, if they approve now, the president will just give an assent for the approval of that leader. Yes. What is your reaction on this?
Okay, I think there was no balance there because they could have balanced both maybe the Nyanza part and the central. There should be balance.
Yes.
Because this will continue to this thing of tribalism, like people will feel he's more supportive in some parts and he's leaving some part outside. So you could have done an equal thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Regina, what is your reaction on this list when you check at it? What do you have to say? Maybe did the president went wrong? Where did he mess? And also maybe an overview. Do you think maybe the CSS, the way they were given different dockets, do you think some of them are fit for that docket, or some of them were unsuitable to serve on those dockets? What is your take?
For me, I think the list is good.
Yes.
Because according to the president, he was rewarding his loyalists.
Yeah.
He was rewarding those people who stood with him in the time that he really needed friends by his side.
Okay.
So I think he's just giving back, and sometimes it's good, but it's good to give back to those who remembered you, those who stood by you. So I don't think there is any kind of favoritism here, because these people still deserve these seats.
Okay.
Yeah.
Me personally, my take on this list is it's a good list. Okay, I have to critique it in this way that we can see that majority of these seats, let's just be honest, you find that the central people, they got majority of these seats. They were given so many dockets compared to other communities. We know we have 47 communities, but we cannot be able to meet all of them. But at least you can see that in terms of equity, of ethnicity balance, it was not balanced in that way, because Central got majority of those seats. And then also, when I look at it in this angle, that they were nominating people for various positions, and there are some people here you'd question if maybe they were fit, because you look also at the academic credentials of this person, or maybe the region this person is serving. For instance, I'm not convinced with the position they gave to Kithure Kindiki. Kithure Kindiki, CS for Interior. Personally, that's just my own opinion. I don't feel like he was suited to serve this position, but maybe I might be wrong, because we have not yet given him that chance to serve and maybe come and say that he was not fit. But personally, I feel like maybe Kithure Kindiki would have been given that position that they gave to Speaker Muturi, that is Attorney General, because he's a guy that we know is very active in matters to do with the law. He's a professor, so he studied law, and I would feel maybe it would be good for that position of Attorney General to maybe to be able to advise the judges, to advise the Chief Justice, to advise the executive. So I feel like that was a good position for him. If I look at someone like Kipchumba Murkomen and what maybe he studied, okay? Kipchumba Murkomen is a guy who studied law at the University of Nairobi. So I'm just trying to look at the academic credentials. And this guy is coming from Elgeyo Marakwet, which is in Rift Valley. And apparently, as we are talking, he was, they say that he was one of those people who was involved in the Aurora and Kimware dam. And right now they are giving him that docket to serve as the CS for infrastructure. Yet he was coming from that county or from that area that the project was supposed to be done. But unfortunately, you find that he also failed, or he flopped on his job. He slept on his task, because I think he was there to provide a supervisory role to ensure that this dam is established, this dam is functioning, to ensure that the funds that were located there, each coin, each cent, it can be accounted for, and ensure that all of them is diverted into ensuring that the project was established. But unfortunately, that thing never happened. The money got into people's pocket. They were alleging that he was also part of that scandal. And then right now we see him being allocated this position or being assigned this position. So personally, like for me, for Murkomen, I would not advocate for him to be given this. Maybe like agriculture, because he's coming from Rift Valley, and Rift Valley is one of the backbones of agriculture in this country. So maybe, I think the president, maybe the advisors, they never sat with him very well. If you look at someone like Asha Juma also, we know that she was involved with the death scandal of, there was a by-election considered to do with the members of county assembly, and then one of his supporters shot the other opponent, okay? So she used to battle it out in court, there was bond, nini. So I don't think if she was fit to be given this position of CS for Public Service, Gender and Affirmative Action. But however, all in hand, maybe let's wait and see and be able to see if the parliaments will be able to vet them and approve them. We shall be able to see, or we shall be able to judge them based on what they will give out. But personally, I feel like there was just a lot of consultation. Like maybe the credits I would give to the president is like this docket for CS for Energy, Davis Chichi, that is okay. And then maybe for, if I look at another one that I can give, CS for Treasury, he was there before to serve in the Central Bank of Kenya, that is Juguna Ndumu, so that is okay. When I look at another docket or another slot that was given that I can give it a credit is CS for Mining and Maritime, that is Salim Vuria. He comes from Coast, and we know also in Coast that there are some minerals that are being mined from there, okay? And another one that I can also give credit or give a green light to it is about the CS for Trade, Moses Kuria, because when you look at his academic credential, he studied Bachelor of Commerce, and he worked at Standard Chartered Bank, okay? So I think there he can, because something that is related to his course, okay? Then another credit that I can give is CS for Defense, Aden Duale. But I also saw some people criticizing it that Duale is not fit for that position. But I can give credit in this way that Duale is coming from the northern part of Kenya, and the northern part of Kenya has been having numerous cases of a lot of insecurity issues. Not banditry, not the Al-Shabaab militias. So I feel like that token should be given to someone who comes from that region, because security is a major cause. Security is the main problem that is giving people their sleepless nights. So I feel like that was a credit to him. That is a green light. I think he can give the best. Even Ababu Namwamba also he was appointed the CS for Sports and Youth. I think is good. He served before under the regime of Raila and Kibaki, and that coalition, and we saw him delivering well. So in the outgoing regime, he served for Foreign Affairs, which he also made a tremendous, incredible job. So I think this one fits him. CS for Foreign Affairs, that is Dr. Alfred Mutua. I think also, okay, he has not served there, but I think he can serve there. He was once the spokesperson of the government, so anything related to public relations or anything related to bilateral ties, I feel that Dr. Alfred Mutua will be able to give us the best out of it. And even when you see some of his campaigns, when he launched Maendeleo Chap Chap, you know, he was trying to gain some political mileage in terms of popularizing his party. So he used to quote, or he used to cite Singapore, that Singapore got independence later than even when our country secured independence, and they have been able to achieve more. So I'm sure that as far as our matters of our country is concerned to the other world, this CS is going to put us on top of the map, is going to negotiate for us, going to bargain for us good things in terms of investment, in terms of well-wishers, giving us relief. So, moving on to another story that, okay, I've forgotten to talk about the issue of gender, by the way. How guys, what is your take concerning the issue of gender when you look at this list? Were you satisfied with the 2/3 genders that the president was vocal about it during the campaigns and even when he launched his manifesto at Nyayo Stadium? Are you satisfied with the gender parity?
Yes.
What do you have to say? Anything you would like to add about it?
I think this time women have been given chance.
Yeah.
And we have seen several of them.
Yes.
So it's a good list.
It's a good list.
Yeah.
And Regina?
I love the fact that he considered women.
Yes.
And having 7 women cabinet secretaries is a good thing.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, he values women and women are in that position. He believes women are in that position to bring the best for this country.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now we are moving on to another story. And the story that we are going to tackle is about Ruto Matiang'i share a light moment at State House meeting. Okay, so President William Ruto, for the first time after the concluded election, they had an opportunity of meeting some of the cabinet secretaries who were against his presidential candidature. Interior CS Fred Matiang'i, known for defending Azimio la Umoja, One Kenya, Mr. Odinga, citing his political path. According to Matiang'i, he was supporting Odinga because it was the directive from the former President Uhuru Kenyatta. The remarks he made in one of the Azimio's campaigns. Okay, he was most wanted CS by the former president and even elevated him to the super CS position, and later he was in charge of the all CSs. Okay, so today his presence at the cabinet meeting as it was chaired by President surprised many, proving that political has no enmity, and that the president and the interior CS were State House laughing, bringing back moments of Mr. Kenyatta and Mr. Odinga handshake when Dr. Ruto and all the CSs used to have the light moment. So this story is just about the outgoing CSS. Yesterday they were at State House when Ruto was announcing the list of the cabinet secretaries who are going to serve in various dockets. And I think maybe he was doing it based on the constitution, because some of these CSs, there was maybe some documents they were supposed to be given, or there were some areas they were supposed to be enlightened or to be informed concerning the dockets that they are going to serve. Okay, so it was just a process of smooth handover or smooth leeway to other CSS, having good rapport, sharing some light moments, maybe giving some advice, giving some corrections concerning different capacities that they are going to serve. And people were surprised to see the super CS having a light moment with the president. They were laughing, they were making jokes, because during the campaign period, during the political kicking period, these CSs were, the CS and the president, they were throwing words at each other. There used to be a war of words, scathing attacks, you see, confronting each other on different podiums. Yeah. I can cite maybe on one scenario, the CS was saying that the deputy president is used to using sympathy votes, seeking sympathy votes. You find that a very small issue, he would magnify it to look very big in order to get sympathy votes. For instance, I can incite one case where the change of security guards at the deputy president's home in Karen. So the people are saying that Matiang'i was saying that the deputy president is one of the most protected people in terms of security in our country, because he went ahead to give the numbers that have been established to him. So the issue of changing was just for the purposes of beefing up the security. It was not a matter of reducing. And the deputy president said that with him, he doesn't consider the security that is given to him. For him, he considers God and the wananchi. So you find that the deputy president was using that platform at that time, maybe to gain mercy, to gain sympathy votes for people to say, like, you know, these people are emulating our deputy president. So in the election, when the process will come, we are going to vote for him. so that he can get our votes, because these people are ambushing him, they are humiliating him, they are belittling him, and he had done a lot to ensure that the president was able to propel into power. So now the Kenyans, they have learned that in politics there's no permanent enemies. These people, their politics is just a matter of words. It's like a Cold War. But it doesn't mean that these people cannot make business or they don't have any interest together. They can still make big business. They can get tenders from this government, despite criticizing the aspirant, the president, while he was campaigning. And I don't know, guys, what is your sentiments concerning this? Because for me, I think it was a good indication, because if they had a bad blood, then some of them would not troop into State House to go and maybe ensure that there is smooth handing over of these CS dockets, or these issues to do with the information, this issue to do with the enlightenment, maybe educating some of these CSs what they're supposed to do when they're given those lots. What do you have to say about it?
Okay, I think there are no political enemies.
Yeah.
Since people talk.
Yes.
So that we are encouraged as citizens,
yeah,
not fight because of politicians.
Yes.
Because we might be fighting here down, but at the top, these people talk, agreed with each other, but when they come to public, they show us that they are not friends.
Yes.
So we should be able to see that as Kenyans.
Okay.
Yeah.
Regina, I need your reaction on this story. What do you have to say about it? The light moments of the outgoing CSS, okay, Matiang'i being one of the big names.
I enjoyed those light moments.
Yes.
You know, I like the way they are handling themselves,
okay,
despite all the differences they had before. You know, like that time when the president was announced, we saw the CS Matiang'i,
yeah,
you know, evacuating even from his Facebook and Twitter account.
Yeah.
So I think they are just like handling themselves in an adult way, you know, in a mature way, just showing that there is peace and politics is just a game, and once it's over,
yeah,
it's business.
okay.
So I think I'm just really happy for them. Even the president himself, how he's welcoming these people.
Yes.
We saw even Eugene Wamalwa, the CS for devolution,
Yeah.
coming back also in the State House.
Yes.
And at many times we saw him clash with the president.
Yes.
Even at a point, the former president who went used to give, you know, the work that belongs to the deputy president,
Yeah.
giving that work to Eugene Wamalwa.
No, it was for Matiang'i.
No, it was for Matiang'i.
Yeah, it was for Matiang'i. It was the
Yeah.
general super CS.
But sometimes he used even to give speech. That,
Yeah,
that
I used to
was
read
supposed
speech
to,
on behalf of the president.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Instead
I
of the
think,
deputy. Yeah, true.
So I think it's a good.
But I think also that moment, maybe the president used to entrust so much Matiang'i, because when you look at the profile of Matiang'i, he rose to ranks because of giving an incredible performance. For instance, where he began with the ICT role, and he played a very big performance. I remember at that time is when we had to change. There was a change. There was a wave of coming from analog to digital. You know, during those periods, the free-to-air TV station, we never used to pay. We used to watch them for free. But Matiang'i was given that position. He did it well. Later on, he rose to the ranks of being given education ministry. He also performed well. Cases of cheating had to decline too much. I think he had to curb it. There was nothing to do with Mwakenya.
Yeah.
And he was very strict in terms of examinations, regulations. He could ensure that the the pupils, the students, they conform to the education policies, okay? Another thing was the issue to do with the school unrest that Matiang'i performed well. Then later on again, he was taken to the defense. Defense also, he performed exceptionally. You remember the Wakaliwao gang who used to create fear and tension in Mombasa, the criminal group that used to kill people. One day he went there, ordered for those people to submit the weapons, and told the people to be vigilant and report the terrorists who are terrorizing people. The people, they were arrested, and action was taken to them. Some of them are still in jail, they are still rotting in jail. So I can say that, yes, there was some disagreement, there was some political turmoil between the two, but for the president to give him that docket of being a super CS, then he trusted him that he could do a very, very incredible job. Yes. So moving on to another story is about Johnston Mudhama, Ndidi Nyoro. these are names that miss out of Ruto's cabinet. Okay, so yesterday for different cabinet ministries, very many Kenyans were watching. They were glued. They were very keen, and even those their loyalists, the people who supported them ardently, they were very keen to see how he was going to divide the cake. But now apparently he was not able to divide the cake equally, because some people feel like they were betrayed, they were rejected, and I would cite some of them that they were brought into.
Alright, welcome once again to this month's show on What is Your Story with Dr. Robert. Also remember, once again, we are back. This is a program that happens every Sunday at 6 p.m. only at Romi TV Africa at Dr. Robert Osoro.
Yes. So my brother, so you say that you had started this.
Ulipiga ikaenda kwa wrong number.
Yeah.
There is power in the name of Jesus. There is power in the name of Jesus.
Alright, welcome once again to this month's show on What is Your Story with Dr. Robert. Also remember, once again, we are back. This is a program that happens every Sunday at 6 p.m. only at Romi TV Africa at Dr. Robert Osoro.
Yes. So my brother, so you say that you had started this.
Ulipiga ikaenda kwa wrong number.
Yeah.
There is power in the name of Jesus. There is power in the name of Jesus to break every chain, break every chain.
Alright, welcome once again to this month's show on What is Your Story with Dr. Robert. Also remember, once again, we are back. This is a program that happens every Sunday at 6 p.m. only at Romi TV Africa at Dr. Robert Osoro.
Yes. So my brother, so you say that you had started this.
Ulipiga ikaenda kwa wrong number.
Yeah.
Hello viewer, this is Romi TV Africa and its newspaper review. I'm your host Mark Collins Ochieng. We would like to apologize for the abrupt commercial break that took, but our producer and technical team, the camera lady, they have worked on it and be able to fix it. We are sorry. So we were talking about the story that we are talking about of the Daily Nation. It's a story to do with Mudama, Ndidinyoro, some of the big names that were in the Ruto's alliance that people expected them to be given various ministry to serve, but apparently it went the way they went. They were never given anything. And I was trying to explain, or I was trying to break down some of these leaders, okay? And I started earlier with the Mudama. He vied for Machakos governor, but he never won. And he was the UDA chairman in terms of that political outfit. We also had Okoth Obado from Migori County, okay? And he was never given any slot to serve, or he was never nominated for any position. We also have Mike Sonko, the second governor of Nairobi County, okay? He was also never given any ministry, or he was never nominated for any position. And the two last are Kato Olemetito. He's from Kajiado County, vied for the governor, but Olelenku beat him, okay? And the last one was Hassan Omar, who lost the Mombasa gubernatorial race to Abdul Samad Nasir of ODM. So guys, I would like you to give me your thought of reaction on this, because personally I feel also when this story comes, I think we have to blame the president a lot. Why am I saying so? Because why do you leave out the likes of Mudama, the likes of Didi Nyoro, the likes of Okoth Obado, the likes of Olemetito, and then you assign, you nominate that position to people who are going to cause a by-election? You know, we expect a by-election. We expect a by-election in Elgeyo Marakwet. We expect a by-election in Trans Nzoia. We expect a by-election in, is it Wajir? Did Aden Duane vie for the Wajir member of party? He didn't vie. But we expect some. There are also other leaders who have given different dockets. Alice Wahome for Kandara, he vied for that seat and he retained the member of parliament. But we expect a by-election, surely. So do you think it was a good thing? Because when you look at the economy, it's really, really shrinking. We don't have money. They were saying that the money that they got on the treasury when President Uhuru Kenyatta was getting out of office, which was very, very little, it was very, very minimal, that cannot be able to do things. So we are operating under debt, and just when he took office, the first thing he did was to give a subsidy to the fertilizers. So the cost of fertilizers has gone down. But when you look at the cost of fuel, it has gone up. And the commodities, the basic commodities, they have gone high. And right now this guy is announcing the positions of various cabinets, and then you leave others out, and then those whom you appoint, some of them now, people are going to be forced to get back to the election process. What do you have to say about it? Because we also don't have money. What is your take on this story, Shalom?
Okay, I think the president did not do the right thing.
Yes.
You could have considered those people who stood up with him.
Yes.
Times of campaign.
Yeah.
So going back to the ballot, I think it cost a lot of money.
Yes.
He could have set that money for another project than going back to the election.
Yes.
Yeah, I think he could have considered his law friends when he was choosing that cabinet.
Okay. What do you have to say about it, Regina? What is your take? What is your view?
I think the president did not just wake up and just decide to appoint those CSs.
Okay.
He is well articulated. He has reasons for why he did the way he did.
Okay.
Plus, I don't think these people will just like remain like that. I think he will just consider them somewhere in any kind of position.
Yeah.
Because again, you cannot appoint all. Maybe you had many friends. You know, you cannot appoint all of them in the cabinet secretary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe when you look at the list that was released, don't you think, like, for instance, Elgeyo Marakwet, maybe you would just have left that leader or that senator to continue serving the Elgeyo Marakwet people, and then maybe on this list of these people that missed, maybe he would have given Didi Nyoro a position for roads and infrastructure, because he has been one of the biggest economists in this country in terms of academic, in terms of advising the government. Don't you think that even on this list of these people that were sidelined or that were left, there were some people who would serve on those ministries? Don't you think that the people who are left, they don't have the potential to serve on those ministries instead of giving the leaders who are elected?
I think on that part, I can say maybe it was a bit unfair.
Yeah.
He could have considered those who are at the key front of his campaigns.
Yes.
Because now leaving someone like Muthama, an UDA chairman, that was a wrong decision.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
He deserved better.
Okay, me personally, I feel maybe, I don't know if it is the advisors, but maybe they needed to have a consultative meeting before they could come out. They could come out in front to address the media, to address the nation concerning the list of the nominated cabinet secretaries. They would have done a proper check, because some of these people, we would still have assigned them and they would have done better compared to the people whom are here, because now, again, we have just concluded the general election. Now, some people, they now expect the results, they expect the outcome from these leaders. Now, again, you are going to take campaigns in those areas. Although some people are arguing that even though he appointed those leaders, but he did so because that even though, yes, the country is going to incur some expenses in terms of the election process, but I still knew that he would not have a threat, because those are his political bedrocks, those are some of his strongholds. So those leaders who are going to vie, or those leaders who are going to take up that mantle to vie for those positions, they are still going to win. They are still going to bring him more leaders in his camp. So maybe some people are arguing like that, but looking at kwa grao venye vitu ziko hivi sasa, I don't think if right now we are in a position to just lose any penny like that. Anyway, moving on to another story. Actually, today's, when you look at the stories that are making headlines today, is just about the stories to do with politics, the stories to do with the yesterday's nominations and stuff. So those are the stories that are making. So one of the stories that I would like us to dwell on is the story to do with the let me get back, because Musalia Mudavadi, he was given the position of Prime Cabinet Secretary. So he's the one who is going to chair the functions of various ministries. Like, he's the one who is going to be the general supervisor of this ministry. So I think that we are going to tackle on that story, because my producer is telling me that we need to take some commercial break before we come back. But I don't know, guys, what do you have to say? Because this is a new docket that was created yesterday. It has never been there. Maybe the one that we used to have before was for Prime Minister. But this one that we are having right now is about the Prime Cabinet Secretary. Is in charge of supervising the CSS, and also is the one who is doing the overall in terms of interconnection between the executive and this CSS. So he's the one who is the link, is the intermediary. Guys, what do you have to say about this docket? Do you think, as far as bringing this CSS into account, as far as ensuring that they work well, there's progress, there's monitoring, proper check, putting them on toes, do you think it's something that is going to help to seal some of the loopholes that we've always been seeing with the CSS? You know, some of these CSS, they've always been arrogant, they have the contempt of court, they don't go to court orders, they don't go to parliament for grilling. Some of them, they just break laws. But right now we have their leader who is there to supervise them. What do you have to say about this docket before we take a short commercial break?
I think it's a nice one, because there will be clear communication between those cabinet secretaries.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And Regina, your reaction on this quickly?
It is a good decision.
Yes.
Now the CSS have a leader who will top them, who will make sure that they do their work accordingly. So it's a good position he has been given.
Okay.
Congratulations to him.
Now, guys, what the information desk that is reaching me is that we have to take a quick commercial break. We will be back, and when we come back, we'll be joined by two other guests who will be giving us more insights, who will be helping us to break down the ceiling on the stories that made headlines on our local dailies. Keep it Romi TV Africa. Go comment, like, subscribe. Give us your comments. What do you have to say about what we are analyzing here? Yes. See you after the break.
Alright, welcome once again to this month's show on What is Your Story with Dr. Robert. Also, remember, once again, we are back. This is a program that happens every Sunday at 6 p.m. only at Romi TV Africa at Dr.Robert. Also,
Break every break every chain. Let's say it together, there is power.
So you say that you had started this.
Ulipiga ikaenda kwa wrong number.
Alright, welcome once again to Testimony Show on What is Your Story with Dr. Robert. Also remember, once again, we are back. This is a program that happens every Sunday at 6 p.m. only at Romi TV Africa at Dr. Robert Osoro. So my brother, so you say that you had started this.
Ulipiga ikaenda kwa wrong number.
There is power in the name of Jesus. There is power. I'm not trying to fight with you. By the word of God, I am in the name of Jesus. To break every chain, break every chain, break every chain. Break every chain. Let's say it together, there is power. Come on. There is power in the name of Jesus. There is power.
Hello guys, welcome to Romi TV Africa. Remember, this is newspaper review and we are taking a commercial break. My name is Mark Ochieng. You are watching Romi TV Africa. Subscribe, like, comment across our social media pages. And right now, as you've seen, two guests have walked out, and right now I've welcomed two guests who are news pundits in terms of newsroom here at Romi TV Africa. And so they are going here to help me to break out the list of the appointees who were yesterday announced by the president-elect, that is William Samoei Ruto. So I will start on my right. He's going to introduce himself and his social media address. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir, for the opportunity.
Yes.
My name is Dr. Robert Osoro, and this morning we're here. I'm a political analyst.
Yes.
And I'm glad that I'm in the show.
Welcome on set. Also on my left is also another gentleman who is a political analyst and is working on our newsroom. Please welcome on the show and introduce yourself.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
My name is Honorable Ambassador Dr. Nyaumbo.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Okay guys, without wasting much, we are tackling the story to do with yesterday, whereby the President Ruto appointed a list of leaders who are expected to serve in various ministries. So at the moment, they are not beginning to work, but they are going to be taken to Parliament for the purposes of vetting. So if the Parliament approves you, then well and good, the President is going to assent, and then now you will start working effectively. And now I'm going to read for you the list. Before now we start breaking this thing, you give me your insight concerning different positions that were allocated to various leaders. So the first person was the CS for Interior. It was given to Professor Kithure Kindiki. CS for Foreign Affairs was Alfred Mutua. For Education was Ezekiel Machogu. For Energy was Davis Chirichi. For East African Community was Rebecca Miano. For Defense was Aden Duale. For Tourism was Penina Malonza. For Health was Susan Nahumicha Mwafula. For Sports was Ababu Namwamba. For Lands was Zakaria Mwangi Jeru. For Labor was Florence Bore. For Trade was Moses Kuria. For Water was Alice Wahome. For Environment was Roslinda Soipan Tuya. For Treasury was Juguna Ndungu. For ICT was Eddie Dowalo. For Agriculture was Franklin Mintika Linturi. For Public Service, Gender and Affirmative Action was Asha Juma. For Roads was Kipchumba Murkomen. For Cooperative and Small Medium Enterprises was Simon Chelugui. For Mining and Maritime was Salim Vuria. For Advisor on Women's Rights Agency was Harriet Chigai. For Advisor on Internal Security was Monica Juma. For Attorney General was Justice Muturi. And for Cabinet was Mercy Wanja. Guys, what is your thought on reaction on this story? Because yesterday the President listed out or rolled out 25 ministries that are going to be in government. But one thing I have, maybe before you give me your sentiment, I have to fault about it is that I don't know, he sidelined or he scrapped the Ministry for Agriculture, no, for Devolution and Planning. Under the outgoing regime, Eugene Omalo was the one who was the leader for that position. But under this new regime of Ruto, that position is not there. It seems like it was scrapped. So I want you guys to give me your reaction on this list first, and then before we break it into more. Are you?
I think I will start from here. Maybe number one, I will appreciate His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto for what that he did, because he has tried. I understand that this is not something that which is very easy. It's a hard task.
Yes.
Not everyone that will be in a position to agree with him. However, there is some position that which I not saw the meaningful of maybe putting to certain people as much as I can say that he was like needed to do so. For instance, when we talk about for Moses Kuria, I don't think if this guy is going to make it in that position.
Why?
Because you know, sometimes this guy is a joker, and we have never taken him to be a serious guy all throughout because of what he does, what he talks. And you see, like last time he said that he's not going to fight for any position when he was coming from Dubai. But when he came, and he was fighting for as a governor of Kiambu. And the other time was saying that what Ruto is doing is not right, and there was a lot of fight. He said he has moved out, and we saw him in the last minute coming back. So these are the kind of guys that for sure, they have given Ruto a big headache. However, he knows that if he does a mistake of letting them out, he's going to have a very difficult government. That's why actually he has just included them in. And number two, maybe before I give my colleague an opportunity to get back to you, is that I did not see a need to appoint people who have already been given jobs by the Wananchi, like you are a member of parliament, you are a woman rep, you have been appointed before. You see, like someone who was given an opportunity, like from Rift Valley, there's a woman who was given, a woman rep was appointed
from Trans-Nzoia County.
And I did not see the need why he could shift her from there to cabinet, and again that means to also give that opportunity to another person to go through that long process of writing a letter to IPC that we have replaced this person. You understand? And already she was sworn in a parliament. And lastly, for Mintika Linturi as agricultural CS, I think he wanted to replace someone that, because that docket has been with them, and he was promising about the coffee, the tea plantation, and all in that area, and he was trying to show empathy to Kisii, like they fought the team when he gave the docket for education to Machogo. However, I've yet to understand Machogo. I've not seen his work well, but I believe that maybe through the help of like Matiang and the other guys, they are going to help him to do it. But someone like Eriu Duwaro, I'm sure in information is going to do very well. This is the guy who was working behind Raila Odinga before he left. To Musalia, he was also in Musalia Mudavadi.
So, he was a member of that political party, and he even vied for the Kibra seat.
The Kibra seat, but you know, that was political during that time. However, I can say there is a number of people that who felt that they were left out, but still there are more positions, there are cars and other positions, so we cannot prompt and say that he is framed for not giving equal opportunity, because he has a lot. Like when we talk about cars positions, there are very many. Cabinet, cabinet something, cars.
Cabinet secretaries,
there are many positions. Yeah, that's what I can say.
Well, to me, I think he made a very big mistake. In appointing some leaders whom we've seen always in the political space. And again, when I look at it, the slots, and most of the slots went to his buddies. He awarded loyalty rather than awarding people who can perform well in those ministries. When you look at the list, it is mainly from Rift Valley, Western, and Mount Kenya,
Yes.
partially in Nyanza. So where is the representation that he was saying that I will equally distribute these positions to every community? In Kenya, where we are now, you can't just wake up in the morning, award a certain community 9 slots and avoid awarding slots to other areas.
Yes.
Let's look at it. What happened to Northeastern? Only Duale.
Yes.
What happened to other areas? Moja or none.
Yes.
So he again promised when he was doing his campaigns.
Yes.
When he was giving us his manifesto,
Yeah.
he said he's going to do a representation of gender that is 50-50.
Yeah.
But he only gave 7.
He only gave 7. So we didn't see the 50% of gender representation.
Okay.
So there are a lot of things. Like now, there are people personally I know. He gave these positions to people who are not going to perform. Yeah.
Like I did not saw the need for Senator for Marakwet. Comment. Because he was a senator already. Why to give him in roles? And I don't expect that guy because which experience, you know, as much as we are giving this position, we are not the one that who is not going to work there. You have some engineers.
Yeah.
But you need also to have an idea of, you see, like Thika Road and the other roads at which were constructed to, like Kisii, Nyanza. Those roads were behind Raila Amolo Odinga because he has an idea of engineering.
Yeah.
And there were very many people that could be given that position.
Yes.
But giving to Murkomen, that leaves us with something that is giving back to his backyard, so that now the guy will be doing whatever he wants to do there with the roads in Rift Valley. That's what people are seeing. Yes. Because with that position, maybe he could give him judicial and other things. We could say because he's a lawyer. And that
but again, we've never seen him practice law. He only says, the law says. I've never seen him in any court. So there are people like Aisha Jumwa. Those people won't perform. You talked about Moses Kuria. I'm very certain that these are people he only awarded due to loyalty.
Yeah. But
like
I can dispute that for Moses Kuria because when we look at Moses Kuria's academic credentials, he's someone who studied a Bachelor of Commerce at the University of Nairobi.
Yes.
And he has served as he has served a different capacity as studied at bank. So maybe something to do with trade can be something to relate to what he studied. So maybe because we know him as someone who is always not serious, but I think it relates to what he studied. But when you look at, for instance, someone like Kipchumba Murkomen, he's someone who studied law and he's coming from the Rift Valley, and we know very well that Rift Valley is the backbone of agriculture in our country.
And the sports.
So and even sports.
Yeah. So
that one we dispute or we agree with you. Maybe someone like Moses Kuria, Kipchumba Murkomen, they would rather give him that slot to serve either in agriculture or in sports. That one would favor him much than roads, because roads maybe you can give it to someone like David D, who was left out, and he has been one of the economist reformists in our country. Even the government used to consult him. At one time when they were with the Raila under the umbrella of NASA, he was a political advisor, and he also writes articles to do with the business on the Business Daily. So I think for Moses Kuria, it's good, but this guy, I think he needs to be a little bit more serious with work. But however, also the president said that these people must work very well. So if you fail to work, then you have to be removed. Yes, but
so another thing,
yes,
you are talking about these names have been posed to Parliament, and they are going to look at them. Of course, automatically they will pass, because what Ruto did, he first ensured that he has numbers. And so nobody is going to oppose it, of course. And if you say that some people, of course, what he was doing now, let me say yesterday, he was giving us per the province now. Actually, what is taking us back is to the provinces, not now to the regions like counties. Because people were saying that Nyanza, the whole of Nyanza, Western has been given 5 slots. And in Western, there were the people I can say benefited mostly from the speaker,
Even Central
from
also,
the prime minister, from the
sports,
the
yes.
sports, yes,
Yeah.
from the, you can count
Yes,
all
yes.
the team.
Yeah.
But and again, if you look at him, he was not giving us from his heart, because like more positions have gone to Central,
Yeah.
That is true.
to other areas, compared even to his own backyard,
Yeah.
Rift Valley, which is the second biggest, if not the first. That means he's trying to, what Ruto is trying to do is to look for an opportunity that he can ride on without an opposition. That's why even he picked people from opposition. Not that he's saying that he's not going to give them opposition, because most people, they look at these cabinet secretaries.
Yes.
But most of them, they're going to be ambassadors, most of them, they're going to be the cars where they're not known to you.
Yeah.
But all the people he has picked, like you talked about earlier with the other guests who were here about the Msando. You say no, sorry. Is the former governor of
Bado, yes, Okoto Bado, yes.
The guy who has been with him. However, at time he was coming back because of his backyard.
Yes.
How they were rejecting him.
Yes.
But a number of time he used to
support
him so much. So he's somebody that who needed to be given a position somewhere.
Yeah.
But and again, another thing I can recommend him,
Yeah.
I know everybody has his bad side and good,
Yeah.
at least he has tried to bring very new faces.
Yeah, by the way,
To
that
the
one
government.
even, I load him for that.
And because I'm trying to imagine if it was the government of Raila, could have repeated same faces.
True.
People like Munya, people like the
CS for education.
for education,
Yeah, Magoa, yeah.
people like Matiang'i,
Yeah.
people like Masharia.
True.
Those are the kind of people we were expecting.
Yeah.
So
They will
at
be
least
recycling.
At least he has put some young vibrant guys.
Yeah.
I know it's because they need experience and other things.
Yeah.
But at this first term they may not perform as that because Amina. There's this lady got the two.
Yeah, Omamo.
Yes.
I think advisor to the interior security. That's a new docket that they created yesterday.
Yeah. I think to her,
Yes.
she has been in the government,
Yes.
on the cabinet. At least as per now, she can do better.
Yeah, she can do better.
Because she has that experience. And
Wale mama mboga wapi wale
walikuwa naenda
border
nao
guys, the
IBC
hustlers
wapi.
who he was working. Yeah.
I think maybe the hustler was just a narrative so that he can use to propel into power. But now when you get into reality,
Some of them, the people,
So he should have.
even when he took the certificate, he was with them. But now when it comes, nyinyi mnachinja pamoja, lakini nyama mnakula nyinyi mna mesa.
Mate kwingine
Wengine. You remember what was said before? In that docket, not in numbers. That's why even Dr. Mutua came and he has taken a very big docket.
Okay.
But maybe this guy will be given as an ambassador. But and I think this guy was this guy called Hassan
Omar, yes.
Omar. I think he's the guy who
Sarai.
deserved to be given a slot because he has stood with him from the first term, and this time at least could have been given a cabinet slot. Forget about the ambassador and other things. If he needed actually to bring his ambition or political ambition arrive. But now being given as an ambassador and other things outside the country, that will not help him so much to build his career. He's a young man. At least he could have given him something that could have motivated him. Actually, could have given him tourism. He gave tourism to
a woman.
To a woman, that's Kitui.
Yeah.
But the woman could have been given something related to. You know, sometimes it's good to give something related to your community.
Yeah.
Just like Kitule.
Yeah.
Kindiki.
Yeah.
If I could have like environment and climate and something, he give that woman. And then
Kindiki was given for interior.
No, interior, but I mean the Linturi
for
agriculture,
yeah.
which is okay, because if you could have gone to Rift Valley out there, it's okay.
Yeah.
But someone like Azam could have been given tourism.
Yeah, when you look at most guys who stood with Ruto were left out.
Yeah.
Let's look at Millicent Omanga.
Yeah.
Let's look at Sonko. The Sarai thing, Hassan Omar.
Yes.
Let's look at people who stood for him.
More especially Millicent Omanga.
Yeah, more especially Millicent Omanga. I remember the lady has been trolled online because of the support he was soliciting for the DP when he was on the campaigns.
Yeah.
Now that he is the president, he was awarding loyalty, but to people again who never stood with him in most difficult times when he needed people to stand with him.
But maybe what I might say or I might add is that they always say that you can't bake a cake and have it. So even on the other side, if maybe you would have appointed these people who missed out, then some of those people again who are not on the list, they would still feel that they were sidelined. So it's something that can never go a 50-50, like it can never go the way we expect to be able to satisfy everyone, but there will still be a blame game anyway. So maybe what we can do as per now is for the members of parliament to decide, because they're going to do the vetting. If they are
but of course, nobody is going to be left out of the guys. Just count it in. I've never seen all the governments from Uhuru Ruto. Nobody was ever left out after going to parliament.
But so let's take a case of Asha Juma, because she was having a case to do with the death case of one of the MCAs during the by-election in Malindi. And that she has been going to court left, right and center, trying to battle out that case. I remember the last time I heard is that she was released on a bond. But when you look at the constitution, when you have such kind of allegations, then it means that you are not fit. So if the parliament, they follow the law the way it's supposed to be, then someone like Asha Juma should not be approved.
But does that parliament follow the law?
The only thing that is going to happen is that everybody is going to look at the people at a different perspective from the realities. People are going to avoid realities. Let's check the case of Aisha Juma and many others. These are people who have been linked with the graft issues. Look at the guy like we call him Davis Chilchir. Chilchir left the government because of corruption cases in 2014. He's been brought back to the limelight because I don't know what is happening. You see, this is now going to be the government of maybe corrupt leaders, because this is what Ruto has portrayed. This is what Ruto has awarded Kenyans. People like Aisha Juma, Davis Chirchir, people who have graft issues could not appear in the CS position.
That's very true.
That's very true, I agree with you.
Now,
moving on to these stories, there's one leader who came out gun blazing, and that is Governor Nyong'o, whereby he blamed these appointees or these members who are nominated for various positions. He said that there was lack of ethnic balance, and one of the regions that he cited was about Nyanza, was about Kisii. You see, he said that the cake was awarded mostly to the two ethnic groups who played a bigger role in terms of ascending Ruto into
it's just
power.
like something of 2013,
2017, yes. So they were the ones who had the biggest share of the cake. I don't know, guys, what is your reaction on this? Do you think, because when you look at the angle of the president, maybe as per him, he decided to award that because he got less votes from the people of Nyanza compared to the people of Central Loop and Rift Valley, who gave him a lot of votes.
So maybe what I can tell you is one. In politics, you never do imbalance or developmental imbalance because you never got votes from a certain area. The best thing Ruto could have done is to award even one CS position to the people of Luo Nyanza.
Okay, so far one was given to Eliud Owalo.
But Eliud Owalo is from Western.
Owalo is from Western.
Not from
Nyanza. He's been from Western. From Nyanza, the only position that people received was the Kisii guy Machogu, who is the education CS now. So
what about for Nani? What about for that lady who was under Uhuru's regime, Monica Juma, because she was given that docket to serve under the advisor of the internal security? What do you have to say about it? She is also from Luo Nyanza, or you feel like that was a recycling of leaders?
That's okay. We haven't seen a new leader from Nyanza.
Like people who were supporting
people
him.
who
because
supported him.
coming,
yes,
this is somebody who has been there.
Somebody who's been in the government.
Okay.
So what Ruto did
yes,
is to be condemned on ethnic imbalance
on this country.
He never checked that well. And again, when we going to advance as a greater Kenya, when we're going to have a Kenya that people own, we will have leaders who don't look at what they got.
Maybe I interrupt you on your point.
Yeah,
I cut you short.
Yeah.
Just last week when there was the national performance of drama festival.
Yeah.
Rigathi Gachagua was in Nyanza because that is where they were hosting the national
in Kisumu.
In Kisumu, I mean.
Yeah.
And they said that they were going to serve people equally, regardless of whom they voted for.
Yeah.
And right now, as the
we have seen that what you were saying on Ruto is contrary to what they were saying, because if they were to serve equally, they could have not dominated positions to one region.
But maybe some people might argue that that is just a slot, but in terms of government projects, they will serve them equally. What do you have to say about it?
I don't think it could have started from the positions that were to be given out.
Yes.
You can't look at development where there is nobody in that government who is going to ask for the said project to come to that region.
Okay.
For instance, if we want good roads, there is nobody who is going there to debate and say, this is what we want
for a region.
For the region.
Okay.
And when we look at the education CS docket, that's a docket that has now gotten back to Kibaki era wakati watoto walikuwa wanaiba mtihani. It is not going to change. There is nothing new that is going to happen. Even the structures that were laid before are going maybe to be scrapped off, because the guy who got the opportunity might not look at it as other people could have done it, or as other people have done it before.
So maybe in a nutshell or in conclusion, considering these appointees, what is your red card? What is your red card concerning the appointees on different slots? How many marks out of 10?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think to me,